It's Marco and Cheats, Jock Center.
X1075.
Covering your balls like nobody else. That's what we do here at Jock Center. Marco and Jeets, X1075. Last night, maybe the best NFL opener in history.
In history?
History.
Wow.
Well, go ahead and name me one better. Thank you. Thank you. It's a good try. Here's how it went down last night.
There's nothing they would like better than to beat this bunch and fly back to Carolina 1-0.
Yeah, I bet they would.
A.J. Jansen is the snapper. Andy Lee is the holder. And Gano from 50. And the kick is no good. Snap a little high. Lee able to get it down, but probably just enough mistiming.
So the Panthers.
By the way, let me. I'm sorry to cut you off. I apologize. I really do.
You're a dick.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing. It's fine. It's to me, it's a compliment.
Just talk.
The guy that gets 0 Fs, it's a compliment.
Just make your point.
Anybody better than Al Michaels at this point in the game of broadcasting TV? And I know, listen, there's been some great ones, but right now, who's out there on a consistent week-to-week basis? Is anybody better than Al Michaels?
I think he's phenomenal, which is weird because there was a little Twitter uproar yesterday, the small pocket of people who were championing Joe Buck. They're like, I'll take Joe Buck over Michaels any day. And I was like, really?
I like Buck. Listen.
I do.
I think we're right now being we should be grateful that we have.
We're spoiled.
Michaels. We've got, I think Buck and Aikman are a great team. I'll tell you, Collinsworth has kind of grown on me. A little bit.
I like Collinsworth.
Yeah, I mean, I
get it. He's very opinionated and can be a little annoying, but that's what his job calls for, and I think he does it really well.
I just I remember watching last night and going, God, Al Michaels is great. I mean, he's just great, and he's been doing this longer than he'll continue to do it.
Right.
So enjoy the next year or two. I think I read somewhere he's got a year left on his deal after this year, so that may be it.
The shame of this conversation is how the NFL's blocked Mike Tirico from doing play-by-play.
Well, Tirico's has some baggage.
Well, their excuse is, so NBC now has some of the Thursday night games.
Right.
So, and Michaels and Collinsworth do Sunday night games. The NFL says they want consistency, which is kind of silly. But that's why they won't let Tirico do the NBC.
That's what they're
game.
saying. But there is some baggage with Tirico.
What did he do? He seems awesome.
No, he's great. I mean, I think he's really good. But he's had some off-the-air problems at ESPN.
Little boozy.
No. From what I've read,
little gropey.
I think some attractive females have caught his attention, and I think he's acted on it. I don't believe in a physical way, but I think I've read there's been some texts and some comments that he's made. And this has happened for a while and several different people.
He read the Brett Favre book of texting?
Yeah. He read it, but he immediately forgot about it after he read it. He didn't follow the lesson plan.
Right.
Well, he did follow the lesson plan, but that's the problem. He didn't learn the lesson. So there's some baggage, I think, with Tirico. But that's just this year. Tirico can be back next year. He can do it again next year.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's just this year. But Tirico did do some preseason, by the way. I don't know if you caught that.
He doesn't send me any inappropriate text, so I'd like to hear him on the air again.
Well, he's welcome to send me some. I'd be entertaining. I mean, our Jock Center would be awesome at 6:40 every morning. So my latest text from Tirico, we'll call it Text from Tirico. It'll just be about how he wants to sleep with me. It'll be very strange. Tim Tebow and this maybe kind of a cool Las Vegas connection. He has signed with the New York Mets, which, of course, their AAA affiliate is here, the 51s. He's in the Instructional League, which is in Arizona. He says he chose the Mets because they're cool with him keeping his job at ESPN. So he can still do ESPN. He can do college football around his Instructional League practices in Arizona. So that's the reason why. But if he does, if they decide to call him up, as they say, and send him they're saying would initially be AA, but he could make a quick move to AAA next season, and then he may have a semi-permanent home here in Vegas with the 51s until he shows them enough to go up to New York.
Or until he gets tired of baseball. The real crazy part of this story is actually 10 teams offered Tebow a contract. He went with the Mets because they're the only ones that would let him stay on TV.
Yeah, it's funny because they said that they were going to, when this happens, a lot of other teams are named. They wouldn't name the other teams in the initial reports.
Right.
So it was almost like the team said, we'll put in for them, but it's got to be 100% anonymity. We don't want to know,
right.
Which, why? I mean, who cares?
Well, they're like...
Are you embarrassed?
Yeah, I think they are, and they're like, we just like this little word called credibility, so we don't really want to be associated with the circus.
Great kickoff NFL game last night, like we talked about. Unfortunately, it looks like the drama of sitting out the national anthem could continue into this weekend. And regardless of how you feel about it, it's just getting so much media attention. At the beginning of most of these games, it's hard to enjoy the games because half the time the guys are talking about who sat and who stood for the national anthem. The Seattle Seahawks have something planned, a pregame demonstration before their game this weekend. And there's a lot of rumors going around on Twitter. Some people are saying this is going to be an anti-national anthem demonstration. And other people are saying, no, this is going to be a pro-troops because of 9/11 demonstration. It seems like each side is hoping, that it's the other.
Right. So the description of what they're going to do is very vague.
Very vague.
They've said that they will be showing team unity and team support of each other. So does that mean they all kneel? Does that mean they do something patriotic? As a diehard Seahawks fan, as you know that I am, I really don't want this to I don't want the circus come to my team.
I don't blame you. If this was my team and I saw this, I would just say, I really would rather this just not happen. If you guys could just do what you've done for the last several years to make you great, let's just do that. But Pete Carroll, the coach there in Seattle, has got a pretty good grip on his team.
Yeah.
He's not a rookie coach. He's well respected in his locker room and around the league. I can't imagine that the players have decided to do something that could be potentially disruptive.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Fingers crossed, buddy. Fingers crossed.
You look at the captains of that team, the Shermans, the Wilsons, I just find it hard to believe that they would allow the locker room to go rogue and do something that could just be totally offensive and totally just distracting.
I agree, but we'll have to see on Sunday. I will say one point on this whole kneeling down.
They are at home on Sunday.
They are.
Which to me makes a big difference because if they're going to do something that could be deemed as offensive, if you do it at home, you won't really catch anything from the crowd because that's your team. If you're on the road and you do it, you're going to catch hell.
Yeah, watch out.
Right.
I will say this about the whole kneeling down thing. Kaepernick comes out, do it. He has his reasons. He has his point that he wants to make. Now, other people follow suit and support and do this. It's becoming the initial point of why people are doing this is lost. And now the debate has turned to should they do it or not. So the initial point is lost in the cluster if you should kneel or not.
There was a guy last night on Twitter. He's the Washington Redskins' third-string quarterback. Nobody's ever heard of this guy. And he's contemplating not standing this weekend. And this guy made a great point on Twitter. Kaepernick does this, and he says it came from the heart and everything, and we'll just take him at his word, whether you agree with it or not. I mean, why not take him at his word, right?
Sure.
But now all these other people are doing it, and even Kaepernick's not a starter, but most of these guys aren't like starting players. Most of them aren't people that you've heard of aside from Kaepernick. And now it's becoming I want to get some attention on Twitter.
That's the sad part.
Yeah.
You got a feeling that people are seeing every time someone kneels down how much exposure they get, if they even believe in the cause or they just want to hype up their own name.
Well, this guy for the Redskins, I mean, he's not even going to dress on Sunday or Monday when they play. So it's like, okay, I mean, are you even there? Like, are they even covering you? I mean,
he's not even invited to the game.
Right.
He's like, I'll be at home watching the game, kneeling down.
Yes. Anyway, but I said, as I said, it's become a shame that now that this is what the cameras are covering, and this weekend 9/11 is just going to be inundated with all of this extra coverage, and God, it just is getting a little bit.
It's to the point.
It's exhausting.
The points these players are trying to make.
You don't even know but you don't even know what they are anymore.
No,
yeah, I don't even know what the points are
it's
anymore.
It's all about players' knees.
All right, that's our Jock Center. It was elongated, but hey, it was the first NFL game, so there was a lot to get into. Marco and Jeets X 107.5. That's us, by the way.